Hello and welcome to another Star Citizen podcast. It is the 3rd of March. I'm your beautiful host, BoredGamer, and I'm joined by the equally beautiful Zinnia. Say hello, equally beautiful Zinnia.
Hello, equally beautiful Zinnia.
Perfect. Keep you on your toes, Zin. We're going to be talking about Star Citizen Alpha 4.0.2, which is now live. A little bit about mission rewards and better persistence for hopefully the next patch, what that next patch might be, the Supply of Dial event, the Stellar Fortuna event coming up, just a load of stuff. Zin, how you doing?
I'm alright, mate. How are you?
Oh, good. Zin and I have been playing a load of Monster Hunter and it's taken its toll on my body. I'm just tired and I'm thinking about where to get my next bits of gear from. I quite enjoy a nice, simple monster hunting game. And Monster Hunter, it's pretty good fun. Monster Hunter Worlds, I really enjoy it. What's not enjoyable about it, Sin?
The frame rate.
The frame rate, that's not the best. It's one of the most poorly optimized games I've ever seen. And I say that from playing Star Citizen for a decade.
Uh-huh.
But also, trying to do anything with the user interface is hellish.
Yeah, trying to create groups, trying to join people in groups, trying to actually do stuff together, you know.
Yeah. So I'd turned to voodoo at one point to try and get into a group. I was literally sacrificing any small no, I wasn't. That's a lot. I won't even say that. Someone would take that seriously. I didn't turn to voodoo or any other mysticism. It was horrible. It's horrible trying to get into a multiplayer game. Well, let's talk to something that may have improved somewhat. Zin, Star Citizen 4.0.2 is now live.
Yeah.
I just wanted to briefly talk about what's good and what's bad here. Zin and I should be able to play this relatively uninterrupted now. When they deployed it, there were some teething issues. There still are some game-breaking bugs in that build as well. But they've put some hotfixes in, they've done some server maintenance, and 4.0.2 contains well over 100 bug and crash fixes and tons of optimizations and stuff like that. It is, for a lot of people, a significantly more playable Star Citizen experience. From what you've seen and what you've heard about this so far, Zin, do you think this is a good step forwards for their monthly patches and getting Star Citizen more playable?
I hope so.
Yeah, do you think they're going to continue the cadence of fixing, basically the same that what they've done here, get Star Citizen a bit more playable, fix more bugs, try and address some of the more long-standing issues?
Well, I mean, it certainly sounds like that's what they're going to try and do. So hopefully, yeah.
Look at Zin being non-committal about everything.
Yeah, well, that's what their plan is.
Yeah.
We won't know until we know.
That's true. I think one of the other things is that 4.0.2 appears to be probably one of the best Star Citizen experiences for most people. However, some people are saying it's the worst. Some people are going to be disingenuous or hate Star Citizen or not trying it. But for the most part, it will be people that are still affected by a bug that prevents them from leaving their hangar, the elevators are eating them, maybe they're just getting really unlucky with something, or a particular type of mission they want to do is just not working properly.
Are you able to log into the game?
I think some people aren't. Due to the nature of an alpha game, there's always going to be some people that can't play or couldn't play at a certain time, and then they're like, oh, it's still broken.
Because there was that patch where I literally just couldn't get into the game.
That's 3.18.
Couldn't play.
Yeah, that's 3.18. That's the one that patches typically get compared to of how broken is it? Is it 3.18 broken? Fortunately, nothing really has been that broken. 4.0's initial release wasn't great. This is genuinely fixed a load of problems. There's a load of fixes for like elevators and spawning and despawning ships and cargo and just tons and tons of stuff. Trams and quantum travel. There are still problems. For example, Zin, when you occasionally go between Stanton, Pyro Stanton in that jump tunnel, sometimes an added little thing you need to avoid is an asteroid, which will appear.
Have they not fixed that?
Nope, not that I've seen. It still seems to be affecting people. It's intermittent. But if it appears and you're not aware, you dead. All your cargo's gone. So yeah, there are still annoying bugs like that and game-breaking bugs that prevent people from like leaving their hangars properly or spawning their ships. But this seems to be largely fixed, or the workarounds for a lot of this stuff. And yeah, after the hotfixes and maintenance they put in the other day as well, Star Citizen has never been quite so playable. They've also extended the Fight for Pyro event. Some people obviously were complaining that they were unable to complete that 4.0.1 event because those missions were bugged. They are less bugged now, and you've got, I believe, the whole of March to complete them. And now we've got the new event, Supply or Die. So do you like the idea that they've put Fight for Pyro and Supply or Die effectively at the same time now, and that they've extended the Fight for Pyro?
I think it's good that they've extended Fight for Pyro, because if people are having issues with the mission, it's not fair.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure why they've put Supply or Die in now, but I guess they want to have it running, so...
Well, it's because it's the next part of that narrative mission.
I suppose that's their plan. Like, it was planned to be released this month, or for March.
They'd effectively have to delay their narrative missions by a month, right? And that's how they're going to be pushing forward. It's going to be like, oh, we're doing bug fixes, we're making the game more playable, we're evolving some features to an extent. Occasionally they'll be adding a new feature, but they're mostly pushing these new content, these new missions, these new areas and stuff like that. So Supply or Die, there are some unique rewards for this as well. There's 3 sets of rewards. There's a trophy, there's a weapon, FPS weapon, and a selection of skins for ships that are scavenger skins, so they're graffitied skins for ships. I really like the Supply or Die event because it combines Jump Town, if you want to do Jump Town, which is going to this depot and buying some valuable material, and then either taking it back to your faction or selling it, make good profit, but full-on PvP in those areas. It's pyro, it's super dangerous. You can complete that mission without buying the Detatrine. You can actually just go and steal it off people effectively. But there's also another 2 sets of missions, mining missions and salvage missions, which you can do instead or as well as to get the rewards for that event. Effectively, these missions aren't mining or salvage missions. They are get these materials to your faction. You could actually buy them somewhere else and then just bring them over. Do you like that? Do you still feel that that could be PvP orientated because you're in Pyro, that there's the danger there?
I mean, there's always that danger, but I like the fact that you don't have to fight people for it.
Yeah. You've got the option of potentially never firing a shot to do this. Whereas I don't think that's going to be true of the Supply or Die Detatrine stuff. Each of the Pyro planets has a depot on it that produces these materials. I really like the event. I think it's a good one to push and have the other more industrial bits of the missions also there so that you can do that if you want to. Something I found interesting as well, I showed you this before we started the podcast. One of the things that people were trying to get is like ice and tin and stuff for like the mining mission. And some people are blocking the buying selling terminals either because they're waiting for those materials to come in or because they're just blocking them for gameplay reasons, to be a nuisance, to prevent other people buying and selling or whatever. So first off, what do you think of that?
Something needs to be done about it.
What about if people are legitimately waiting for the materials?
Then you're being an asshole.
So there should be a timeout still?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so potentially a timeout thing there. There needs to be a solution to that isn't just stand there. I mean, I think people have gone, well, why can't we, if we're in the nearby area, why can't we connect with our Mobiglass and just buy stuff through our Mobiglass, bam. Or pay extra to have the stuff immediately. Or buy it, and then it comes to you when it's been refreshed, but you still got to wait for it, but you're not blocking the terminal.
Prepay.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, you're just waiting for it to be delivered, right?
Also limit how much there is available to each person, maybe?
Ooh, maybe. Yeah, there's loads of solutions, right? And maybe a mixture of some of them or all of them will work. I'm interested to know what other people's solutions are down below. Other people did have solutions, though, Sin. To get rid of these people is to get physics items, trolleys, or use med guns or crates or whatever, and knock them out the way. I think that's an interesting one as well, because obviously some people get caught in the crossfire that aren't blocking. So what do you think about that behaviour?
Don't stoop to their level.
Yeah, okay. Again, stuff needs to potentially be solved both ways, as it were, or solutions for both things.
Though somebody did say in the comments, and quite rightly so, those trolleys need to be removed from the game. They serve no purpose. They literally serve no purpose.
Yeah. Well, they're really good at getting people out of the way of terminals. Yeah, that's a good point, sort of at the moment. I think they probably want them as mission items and other things as well in the future. They're probably used in Squadron as well, right? So they've sort of got...
For what?
Well, I know, moving stuff around for your Gladius or some... NPC's going to be using them for bringing stuff over. I don't know.
Make them so that they're locked in position unless you have permissions to move it. It's like the little wheel on trolleys. When you take it out of bounds, it locks up.
I'm not sure if other people have that. I'm not sure if that's just a British thing.
Yeah.
In other countries, do people steal trolleys, or is that just a quintessentially British thing?
Well, in Britain, we steal trolleys and then throw them into, like, canals and stuff, don't we?
You throw them into a river, you throw them into a lake. Who knows why? It's just something you do. I thought that's where they got them from at one point.
To grow in rivers and
just
canals.
Fish them out. Something needs to be done about all that sort of stuff. It's good to see that kind of behaviour in an alpha, so CIG know what to build for or prevent in the future.
Yeah, definitely.
I'll always say that. I would say don't get so angry at these people that you're like, ban them forever or anything. Just go make a statement about what's appropriate or not appropriate with this sort of stuff, and then people break the rules or whatever, give them a appropriate level of warning / ban.
But this is also the sort of thing that the quanta like economy, the dynamic economy will help fix, because if everybody's lining up to buy these materials, the price will skyrocket and it will not become viable anymore to just buy them.
Yeah. And I think it also just goes to show that if you're trying to have server meshing and hugely high player counts on servers, that maybe you need another way of dealing with people's point of sale.
Yeah, or more than 3 terminals.
Yeah, so it's a little annoying when you've got 600 players potentially doing the same sort of thing. Let's say 500 players doing the same sort of thing in an area. It's gonna create a backlog, right?
Yeah.
And it's just an interesting thing. I'm interested to know what other people are experiencing with this. Other bits and bobs I wanted to talk about briefly. CIG have said mission rewards, they're not going to be splitting them in the future, or they will be, but you're going to be getting good rewards, and they'll dynamically increase for your group size. They're going to be encouraging group play rather than discouraging it by splitting small rewards. Yeah.
So basically, if you've got a larger group, the mission reward will technically be higher because it's getting split.
Yeah. And you'll be encouraged to group up rather than discouraged. We'll see exactly how that all plays out in the future, because I think it was still a little vague from CIG talking about it, but it's because they haven't fully implemented it yet, right? Although that said, with the Supply or Die event, they've put some of that stuff in. They've made small, medium, and large missions basically gone, we recommend you have a player group of this size with these, and they pay out more. Other stuff. Long-term persistence. With every Star Citizen patch, people worry there's going to be a wipe.
And so you should.
Well, consistently, even when there's been no wipe, some stuff still gets wiped from patch to patch, such as volatiles, consumables, so refinery jobs, ammo, med supply, stuff like that. And something that's more recent, contested zone items and some of the contested zone rewards also get wiped, which is sad for the people that have worked towards getting those top tier rewards or have got a load of cool contested zone stuff. But CIG have basically said, look, we're going to be keeping more and more long-term persistent stuff from patch to patch. This patch now, 4.0.2, should keep all of your contested zone rewards going to the next patch as well now, so you can farm away and expect more and more persistence in the future, so that even volatiles and meds and stuff eventually won't get wiped at all, because eventually they're going to want no more resets, in which case when they update, nothing can be wiped, because that would make everyone sad. What do you think of that? Do you think this should have been something they did ages ago? Or do you think, oh no, it's fine for them to do it slowly, or even not important?
I think it's fine for them to wipe if they need to.
Yeah.
Like at the moment, always expect wipes, even if they say they're not gonna.
Yeah.
Like, things change, you don't know what's going to happen, and they're not in a state where they have to have persistence. I
think what it is that because of the double-edged sword / vague, confused marketing in some cases of Star Citizen, where they've gone, Star Citizen is development as a service, it's a live product, it's a live service, look how polished it is. The marketing shows it being a lot more polished than it actually is, and some people expect their progress to be fully carried over and stuff. So a lot of people just don't have the correct expectation of the game. I think that sometimes is quite a sour pill to swallow when you've got all this cool stuff and it gets wiped with a minor patch. Stella Fortuna's in.
Oh, yay.
So Zin, typically not a massive fan of minor events.
Oh, goody, we can buy some green ships.
Well,
or skins.
It's interesting. Or skins. There could be some new ships and vehicles and stuff released, or some new kits and stuff released. I know that if they release stuff as kits, you might be getting quite grumpy if their price is too high. You don't like the cost of, for example, the Heartseeker kits.
Yeah, because it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I think that's good. For me, that Heartseeker kit, I really liked. I thought that was priced to people like me that want to buy things like that, because that's an easier pill for me to swallow, going, oh yeah, I do want the Heartseeker skin and turret. I don't want to spend 120, 180 quid on a ship, though. Oh, it's available as a kit. Oh, great. But I've also realised that that's kind of predatory monetization, because it nickels and dimes you, right?
For one, you have to buy a Hornet or
Mark
a Super Hornet. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've got to buy that kit. With the Mark 1, you just had to have a Super Hornet, and then it was £5 to upgrade.
Yeah. Or you could buy the kit straight up with the Hornet Heartseeker as a Mark 1 Super Hornet. Well, so the interesting thing is as well, Zin, I was like, oh yeah, this is great. I've got my my F7 C Mark II. I'll upgrade it with this cool skin. Oh, the skin looks different on my ship. What is this? So yeah, there's a lot of controversy around the Heartseeker. I'm interested to know other people's views on that, but CIG hopefully will have learnt from that and will appropriately show us what skins look like on different variants of the same ship. And Zin, you may be right. The way they do the kits is just ridiculously expensive. And when you actually look at what you're getting, because you're getting a skin and a special turret. But yeah, tell us what you think in the comments below. Green stuff, ships, sail and stuff like that. One of the things that you're going to be getting for the monthly patch releases is they are going to combine them somewhat or make the minor events more appealing or part of those patches is what I would expect. Roadmap updates in.
Yeah.
CIG have gone, this is our plans for Alpha 4.1. This is our plans for Star Citizen 1.0. I'll quickly go over 1.0 stuff because they've moved over to the 1.0 column, engineering and the associated stuff with engineering like life support and fire. Assumedly fire extinguishers, but also things like radar scanning, which is sort of exploration updates, quantum boost / new quantum stuff, hangar updates. A lot of stuff that we're expecting to turn up at some point this year has been pushed into the 1.0 column. How do you see that 1.0 column?
Like you said, when all this is in, technically it's 1.0.
Yeah, but all this stuff, some of this stuff could be coming this year, some of it could be coming with 4.1, some of it 4.2. It's just a place where features that they are kind of working towards live until they're actually in a patch.
I would assume anything in that column currently, when it's in a position to be released, will move to the appropriate column.
Yes, it will move out of 1.0 and into whatever patch. And talking about the next major patch, we've got 4.1. CIG talked about this. Potentially this is the 4.0.3 or the March patch. I don't really know. Well, potentially, so either at the end of March we'll have 4.0.3 or 4.1. In 4.1, they've got the Vault weapons, which people have wanted for a while, or at least a couple of them. So these are like new styled FPS weapons. And also new event that looks like it uses all of the Theatres of War assets. Were you around during Theatres of War? When did I employ you?
September 2020.
Oh, okay. So the year before, there was loads of stuff going on about Theatres of War. I went to CitizenCon 2949 and played Theatres of War, their first test of it. It was this big arcade mode, Battlefield-styled 32 versus 32 people, I think. Might be 24 versus 24 or 16 versus 16. It was something like that. It was a big scale fighting, and it was on Via. Basically, you were on this planet, and it was a bit of a push-pull scenario where you were assaulting these sort of ground locations, and you were trying to fight up your way to a space station in orbit and take that out. This was like Hathor Station and Hathor Outposts, which are like these mining outposts. And it looks like these assets are part of the missions and new locations that I think are coming to Stanton as part of this narrative event. So what do you think of that potentially reusing the Theatres of War stuff?
Why not?
Why not, indeed?
If anything, it's nice if they ever bring back Theatres of War.
Yeah, so eventually you could see Theatres of War in the future again as a arena commander mode. So this might literally be very similar to what Theatres of War was. So sandbox activity for 4.1, a new open-ended activity blending on-foot exploration with aerial support, creating sandbox gameplay opportunities for daring teams. and Hathor ground alignment stations, strategically placed Hathor operated outposts providing key infrastructure and sandbox gameplay opportunities for planetary operations. And then there's a Hathor mining station in orbit as well. Sandbox activity, Zin, blending on-foot exploration with aerial support. Does that sound like Sandworm to you?
No.
I think Zin gets a bit grumpy that I think everything's sandworms, and sometimes I'm right.
I mean, maybe you use the ground alignment stations to align the mining station that'll send a big beam, and that ends up calling the sandworm.
But maybe the sandworm coming up is an unintended side effect.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's you're mining, having sandworms come up is an unintended side effect.
What if you're mining for sandworms? And okay, yeah, fair point. I'm just sort of interested what other people think. Obviously it could be like, no, they're just mining. Why would they also blend sandworms in with this? It's
like in RimWorld, when you start doing the deep ground mining, you can end up calling up insects. That's not what you want to do. I mean, unless you do. But that's not generally what you want to do. That's just a side effect.
Also, what could happen is that this is just a mining thing, and then the next month's event is, worm sign. So it will lead on to that or something like that. Because I do think that almost certainly one of the narrative events will be about sandworms, whether that's at some point this year or next year or whatever, remains to be seen. Yeah, that's all I really wanted to talk about, I think, Sin. Oh, do you think March patch is going to be 4.0.3 or 4.1? Do you think it's going to be a major patch?
Currently,
patch?
I'd say 4.0.3.
Cool. Yeah. I don't know at all. I think it's probably better to err on the side of a minor patch, 4.0.3 more than anything else. But let's wait and see. Thanks very much for watching, guys. Really interested to know what your experiences of 4.0.2 are. Zin and I will be playing this a reasonable amount over the next couple of weeks when we're not playing Monster Hunter, which I am genuinely obsessed with. Yeah, tell us what you think is going to be in 4.0.3 or 4.1 beyond what we sort of discussed. Are you expecting new ships to turn up with some of these minor patches, or are they going to be tied in with the minor events like Stellar Fortuna? Do you think that's we're going to be seeing a ship turn up? Because I suppose we've seen that with Korra More. We've seen that with... Did we see that with the Red Festival? Did we get anything new with the Red Festival? Maybe. Who knows? Tell us from the bottom below. I can't check notes. I can't read. Are you playing Supply or Die? Have you got your rewards? Because actually you can do the Supply or Die. You only have to do it a few times, some of these missions. You can do them pretty easily, just a few times to get the rewards. I think that's actually pretty cool. Are you having a great experience with Star Citizen now or not? Tell us in the comments below. Say goodbye, Zin.
Goodbye, Zin.
Thanks very much for watching. We do have a giveaway. We are giving away for March to a random commenter a Super Hornet Mark II with Heartseeker kit. It comes with a game package and lifetime insurance. It was kindly given to us by CIG for giveaway, and that's what we're doing. We're giving it away. As I said, comment on any of our videos made during the month. Also, something that you might want to do during the month, get yourself some NordVPN. Zin, what do you think of NordVPN?
It's all right.
It's all right. Perfect. That's good enough. That is a shining endorsement. Get yourself some nordvpn.com/BoredGamer. Use the links below. Also, other things you might want to do, like, share, subscribe, that sort of stuff. The join button under my videos, that helps. There's Patreon, which basically does the same, but for people that want to do that instead. Thanks very much for watching. We'd love to hear from you in the comments below.